Good day, we're gonna do Jingle Bells. I know it's only 7 months to Christmas, so it's a bit early, but Katran really wanted to do this. I also want to highlight some of the techniques we need to sit and focus on as well. So before we start, things that I want to watch out for. I notice that sometimes when we're playing, we want to lean the uke forward. You can see I've got my uke upright, that's where it should be, and you can see it's leaning forward. This is what happens because we want to look over to see our fingers. But the hassle with this is when we do that, the ukulele makes our wrist bend, which means we have difficulty getting to the strings as well as we should. And sometimes the fingers touch other strings and we get dead notes. And then I've also noticed that sometimes we end up with the ukulele almost flat, which is very, very bad technique. So very important, please make sure the uke is not lying flat. We don't want it at an angle either. We want it tight against your tummy, as up straight as possible. So if I need to see what my fingers are doing, I can quickly peek over, maybe a little bit, just a small movement. But when it's like this, my fingers are nice and clear. You can hear my string is clear, and as soon as I go to angle, that's what we want to avoid. And there you can actually see the fingers touching the string as the uke goes on an angle. Clear, and that's the problem. So first step, ukulele up straight. Okay. If you're using a pick, not a hassle. You use it with finger 1 and thumb, like that. So your technique is sort of like this, and your point of your pick is pointing at the ukulele, and your thumb is sort of parallel to the string. If we're using fingers, I notice that some of the players like doing this. The hassle with the thumb is never as fast as your fingers are going to be. So please rather pick with a finger, like I'm picking now. Don't do that. Okay? I know lots of the students say that it's easier with the thumb, but when we need to play fast, that's when the trouble kicks in, because the thumb will never give us the same speed as the first finger. Okay, enough on technique, let's play Jingle Bells. Now, you've got the PDF file as well. It's going to sound like this. Nice open strings for starters. My thumb is resting on one of the strings I'm not playing. My first finger is going to do all the picking, and I'm going to have this. Okay, now let's just break it down into small little sections. We're working with a top line, and you're starting with 3 zeros for Jingle Bells, simple as that. And then you repeat it. So it's 2, 3 zeros in a row. 1, 2, 3, gap, 1, 2, 3, gap. And the next 5, are they going to be a bit faster now, and it's going to sound like this. Now I'm going to focus more onto him. I have numbered my fingers to make it easier, and it starts off with the open on the second string, finger number 3 onto fret number 3, so the fret number and the finger number are the same for this song, so it's O 3. Then you come up a string. You can see my picking hand now does that, because if you look at your tab, the next 2 numbers are no longer on the same line. Okay, so you're now going to play open on that string, and the second finger is going to come in over here on the same string. So those 2 notes that are on a different line should sound like that. And you finish off the last note of the 5 back down a string. So if you're watching this hand, you'll notice the movement there as it jumps across. Open, 3, jumps up, and jumps back down. And if I put both left and right hand together, it's going to be. Okay, now I want us to try and play through together and see how it goes. I'm going to count to 4, and this is going to be our speed. It's going to be, that's our target speed. Okay, but we'll start a bit slower, and we want to end up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Space. Space. Now, moms and dads, if you're busy working through with your uke player in the house, don't mind the speed. We're looking for the smoothness or the evenness of the rhythm. So you can even slow it down to something like this, for example, because it's all about getting the even rhythm, not the speed of the rhythm. So we can even do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's slow, but it's even. And once we've got that, then we can slowly go a bit faster and faster and faster. We're going to go to the second line, and we're going to finish off this video on the second line. It's going to sound like this. And there's a whole lot of ones starting off on the second line. There's 5 in a row actually, so you're going to count 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you lose the first finger to the open string. 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you put those together and you want to play with, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got that. And then you'll notice the numbers changed strings again. It's the second fret on the second string from the top, 2 twos, and then it jumps down the string again. And then very important, please make sure that we're looking at the file that I sent through as well, so we can see the numbers change strings. I notice quite often that the new players want to try and memorize it, but we can't memorize something if we haven't read it. Okay, so we need to read it in order to be able to memorize it. Otherwise, if we don't read, we don't know what to memorize. So please encourage him to read the whole way through, because it brings us to our attention, when do I change strings? Okay, so one more time the second line, if you want to play through with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Zeros. 2, 2, change the string, and there's a big pause, and you finish on the 3. And that's the first 2 lines of Jingle Bells, which are going to sound like this. We'll do the other 2 lines next week, but here we're going to finish off with it at the correct speed, just to give you some insight to know where we're going to end up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's a long way to Christmas, but we should have the song finished long before that. Have an awesome day. Thank you.